Pork is one of the most eaten meats on earth, and at the same time one of the most rejected. That contradiction alone should make you stop and think. In supermarkets across Europe, East Asia and the Americas, pork is everywhere. Yet across large parts of the Middle East, Africa and South Asia, it is completely off the table. Not avoided casually, not disliked, but forbidden. What makes this even stranger is that people have been arguing about the reason for thousands of years, and no one has managed to settle the question. Historians, religious scholars, archaeologists and anthropologists all disagree. The rules are clear, but the origin of the rules is not. That is what makes this topic worth serious attention. If you value explanations that go deeper than surface-level answers, this channel is built for you. So make sure you subscribe now so you don't miss future breakdowns of questions most people never think to ask. Now let's move past assumptions and get into what we actually know. Pork is both the most popular and most forbidden meat on the planet. Globally, pork accounts for more than a third of all meat consumed. In countries like China, pork is not just food, it is central to culture, language and daily life. At the same time, roughly a third of humanity avoids pork completely. Judaism forbids it. Islam forbids it. Hindu traditions generally discourage it. That level of agreement across different belief systems suggests something powerful is going on. But shared belief does not automatically mean shared origin. These prohibitions did not appear overnight, and they were not explained clearly when they were written down. The earliest religious laws banned pork without explaining the real reason. The first clear written pork prohibitions appear in the Hebrew Bible, specifically in Leviticus and Deuteronomy, texts compiled during the first millennium BCE. These laws say pigs are unclean because they have split hooves, but do not chew the cud. That description is accurate, but it raises a bigger question. Why does that matter? The text never explains. It states the rule, not the reasoning. The Quran later repeats the ban, grouping pork with carrion and blood, again without explanation beyond obedience to divine command. For people looking for logic, this silence has been frustrating for centuries. The idea that pork was banned because it causes disease sounds logical but falls apart. One of the most common explanations is that pork was dangerous to eat. In the 19th century, scientists discovered trichinosis, a parasitic disease linked to undercooked pork. At the time, this seemed like a perfect answer. Religious laws suddenly looked like ancient health regulations. The problem is that this explanation does not match the historical evidence. There is no proof that trichinosis was widespread in the ancient Middle East. There is no proof that people even understood parasitic diseases well enough to make dietary rules around them. Other meats carried far deadlier diseases, including anthrax, which ancient people clearly recognized. If health were the main concern, pork would not stand out. Anthropologists argue pork was not uniquely dangerous compared to other meats. Anthropologist Marvin Harris pointed out something uncomfortable but obvious. All domesticated animals can make humans sick. Cows, sheep, goats and chickens have all transmitted deadly diseases throughout history. Pork is not special in that regard. In ancient societies without refrigeration, sanitation or antibiotics, every animal carried risk. If pork had been banned for health reasons alone, similar bans would exist for other animals. They do not. This is where the explanation gets more interesting. Environmental pressure may have turned pigs into a bad economic choice. Pigs cannot eat grass. They eat grains, roots, scraps, and the same food humans eat. In forested environments, pigs are efficient. They forage, clean waste, and turn low-value food into protein. But in dry, deforested regions, pigs become a problem. As the ancient Middle East experienced population growth, deforestation and urban crowding, pigs lost access to shade and natural food. They were forced into cities, where they fed on waste and competed directly with people for grain. At the same time, pigs need mud to cool down because they cannot sweat. In hot urban environments, this made them appear filthy and unpleasant. The animal did not change, but the context did. Cultural disgust likely followed environmental reality. Humans are deeply sensitive to disgust. Once pigs became associated with waste, heat, smell, and competition for food, attitudes toward them hardened. Over time, practical avoidance turned into moral judgment. What started as "this animal does not work well here" slowly became "this animal is unclean." Religious law often solidifies social behavior that already exists. It preserves boundaries, reinforces identity, and makes practical choices feel permanent. Other animals challenge this explanation and keep the mystery alive. Goats eat almost anything, yet are permitted. Chickens live in filthy conditions, yet are permitted. Chickens also eat grain and compete with humans for food. Some scholars argue chickens eventually replaced pigs because they were smaller, produced eggs, and could be slaughtered quickly in hot climates. That may explain why pork declined, but it does not fully explain why it was banned so forcefully. Once pork became forbidden, it became a powerful identity marker. Archaeological evidence shows that pig eating never completely disappeared in the region. Some ancient Israelites ate pork. Laws are rarely created to ban things nobody is doing. Over time, avoiding pork became a way to distinguish one group from another. Israelites from Romans, Muslims from Christians. Dietary rules became social boundaries. Once tied to identity, the taboo no longer needed a practical reason. It sustained itself. The honest answer is that no single explanation fully solves the puzzle. Health alone does not explain it. Religion alone does not explain it. Environment alone does not explain it. The pork taboo likely emerged from a combination of ecological pressure, economic inefficiency, cultural disgust, and social identity, and then hardened into religious law. That process took centuries, not years. What we can say with confidence is that billions of people are following rules whose original logic has been lost to time. If you value careful explanations over easy answers, make sure you subscribe to Simple Things Explained. Share this video with someone who enjoys learning deeply, and stay curious. Some questions matter not because they are solved, but because they remind us how complex human history really is.